Rosario. How you doing? My name is Rudkowski from WeAreChange, based out of Brooklyn, New York.
Nice.
You actually, I want to thank you very much because you actually.
Is that your video?
Yeah.
Is that you?
Yeah,
Who does that video? Oh my God! Wow.
Thank you so much.
Nice to meet you.
It's really
I show
nice to
people
meet you
those videos and all that kind of stuff all the time. I love that video.
Thank you. I'm really happy
so
you liked
awesome
it.
that you
helped
did
it go
that.
viral. And
oh, really?
I made it when I was at my lowest in my life, and making that video changed my life for the better. Yeah, and I really thank you so much for promoting that. And I think it would only be fair if I get to ask you some of the questions in that video, if that's okay.
Oh, okay. Ooh, gosh.
If that'd be all right.
That's rough. I remember looking at that going like, oh, how difficult these is and how beautiful that is. I think one of my favorite things about that video, too, is just the fact that how cheeky it was to go, okay, you don't want to answer these? We'll pick out the next person for you to talk to. And just a look on people's face like, what?
Yeah.
And then them participating. And that's so beautiful.
I didn't leave. I wouldn't let them leave.
No, I love it. Persistency is remarkable.
I had to edit it out, but there were very awkward moments in there. And,
sure.
But I just also wanted to tell you the most amazing moments came when I didn't have the camera on and people didn't want to speak on the mic and they spoke behind the camera, and I spoke to just so many incredible people.
Yeah.
It's such a shame they didn't want to be on camera because I talked to somebody that just lost their wife. And this made me realize the things that we complain about, the things that we always worry about are insignificant compared to the bigger things in life and what's really important in life.
Yeah. And how much more connected we are than we think. There's a lot more similarities, you know. That's the thing with everything from HIV/AIDS to education gaps to cyclical violence in the home. Like, you know, it's that thing, you know, 1 in 3 women will be raped, killed, or beaten in her lifetime. That's 1 billion people at the very least on the planet, more than 1 billion people on the planet. And each one of those people, unfortunately, almost all the time think that it's only happening to them. And it's so insular. And the second you can tell your story and open up outside of that, you have this connection that goes beyond. And suddenly these problems that seemed insurmountable can be overcome because there's people who've gone through it before you.
Exactly.
And actually it's such a relief to go, oh, I don't have to figure this out a whole 100% by myself. There's other people here. We're all trying to figure it out, and let's make it as easy as possible for us. We're all human beings.
We're all one energy, and where we take it and what we make of it.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Let me ask you.
So go ahead.
All right, 3. I'll cut them down.
Okay.
What motivates you more, fear or love?
Love.
And why?
Love. It's interesting, actually. When I remember seeing that, I thought maybe fear, because it's one of the things, like, when you look at it, like, is it the stick or the carrot that really kind of gets you? And, you know, I think I'm very motivated by the stick. I like, and I take it on as pressure, you know, like I'll wait to the last minute to do something, and then it's like, argh! But the reality is, like, you know, what I do with my activism, what I do with my acting, what I do with everything else, with my connections with my family, the things that get me out of bed is love. I love my family. I love my friends. I love the people that I've grown up. I love being a human being. I love being alive. I think it's just remarkable. I think this is we get to do this all the time. It's really, really cool. And all of the stories that I've witnessed and all the time I want to live different lives. It seems like all of them are so interesting. I will never know what it's like to just be in one small town forever for the rest of my life. There's something so beautiful about that. You know, I was looking through this book, and it was this woman, her brother and sister, and they were both in their like 80s, going into their 90s. They were living in their same house that they were both born in. They grow and make most of the food that they eat off of. And it's just such a remarkable idea. And you see their faces and the energy and how happy, and like there's just something so beautiful about that. And I have a totally different perspective. So all I do is travel and all these other things. And it's just, I love all of it, you know. And I hope that it is true that we have multiple lives and that we get to do all of it, because it sucked to think about that we only get one shot.
I know. I'm afraid of that many times, and that's what drives me, is that fear of not knowing what happens, just making the most out of it. All right, 2 more questions. I'll make it really short. Yep. You're definitely right about that. Yep.
No, it is. And I'm a kind of science geek and stuff like that, and it's just
quantum physics.
Yeah, it's beautiful. And like the idea of, like, you know, if we keep going half distance to each other, we'll never reach. There's an infinity between us.
Exactly.
Like, I love these different concepts and ideas, and I love how we can think about the world around us. And I love that at the end of it, we'll still not know what we don't know more than anything.
And I think that's what makes it worthwhile. That's what makes it amazing. Have you ever seen how much
science is created? We'll never know what magic it is that makes 2 cells want to divide, makes a cell want to divide and create a human being. We'll never know that. Doesn't matter. There's magic. Why do we lose a bit of weight when someone dies? What is that? When I touched my grandmother after she passed and she suddenly wasn't there. She was there, but she wasn't there. and I'll never know her again, but I feel her.
Yeah.
And it's an amazing thing. There's this magic that exists in the planet that is just so palpable. And it's sad when we turn away from that, because I think we miss out on something remarkable about being a human being when we reject that.
Yeah, society and mainstream media puts all these insecurities about us, about how we're supposed to look and all this, and a lot of people feel down, but in reality, I think all of our differences makes us beautiful.
And I always tell people when they're like, oh, I'm flat-chested and I only have a big butt, I'm like, go to Brazil, you'll be the most stunning human being on the planet. I was invisible.
Exactly.
You know, like, it's like, just don't, you get so dejected and you can feel so small and insecure depending on where you are, and it's like the world's a big place. There are billions of people on the planet. Go and meet a few of them.
Exactly.
It's kind of awesome.
All right, two more.
Okay,
Sorry. Do you trust the government?
Do I trust the government? That's such a strange. I remember that question coming off as kind of strange. Like, what does that really mean? Do I trust the government? To what? I trust the government to be exactly what it is. It's it's composed of human beings, and human beings are corrupt, and that's just a reality, and we're vulnerable, and we're not perfect, but I understand what governance is, and in order to live as a huge society of people and have rights and have access to things that we need in a civil world that we are existing in today, where technology has far surpassed us in so many ways, we need government, and it is composed of us, so it's only as great as we are and our participation in it. So that's why I think I do what I do about the Latino, because I don't always agree with government, but I believe in it.
Last question that was in the video. What is the meaning of life?
What is the meaning of life? This is terrible. As many times as I've watched this, I don't know why I'm surprised by this question. What is
Take your
the
time.
meaning of life for this for me?
Or we could come back.
Yeah. What's the meaning of life for me? It's an interesting thing. The meaning of life to me is learning. It's growing, literally. It's evolving and changing. It's the whole cradle to cradle thing. It's the fact that we're literally, I remember going to see someone in Mexico when we were shooting Chavez, and we were at where's America? We went to what do they call that for Seeing the Stars? I want to keep having auditorium in my head, which is the wrong word. Starts with a P, I think. Do you want me to grab her? Planetarium. Thank you. I'm like auditorium. So but we're at a planetarium. We're looking at this, and it's he's showing us a star, and he's talking to us, and he's going, scientifically we've discovered that we are composed of 3 stars. The makeup of each individual star times 3 is in each individual human being. And the fact that we're that interconnected, the fact that we're literally, like you listen to that Paul Hawkins commencement speech, and he's like, as Einstein said, if the stars only came out once every 100 years, we'd step outside in awe and adulation. But instead, they come out every day and we watch TV instead, and we ignore it. And it's like that to me, that's that magic. For me, and the meaning of life is that magic and discovering it and being a part of it, and finding urgency when you need it, and relaxing and just laying about and enjoying the sun and a nice breeze and a nap and the smell of a beautiful rose also when you need it. And sometimes it's that frustration when you get cut off in traffic, and sometimes it's when you're connected to everything and beyond. It's just this remarkable experience of being aware and being unsure, because it's so mysterious, and that to me is something that I'm always trying to balance out in my life. Being here, being effective and of purpose, and of connection to people, and also just recognizing that just being here automatically is that. If I did nothing and died and turned back to dust and food for the planet, that's still what it is. A plant is no less valuable because it doesn't have a conversation. Trees that are here for thousands of years, and all of it, the ocean, all of it. It's just so remarkable to me. So that to me is the meaning of life, is just connecting to that. And I think we have that as babies. We have that as children, when we're just like in awe and excitement and creativity, and everything is magic and exciting, and we forget that as we get closed-minded and go, I have to make this much money, and I have to achieve this, and this is what's important. And then it's like when my grandmother was afterwards, and I talked to her about politics, and she'd get really excited about it, but at the end of the day she was like, I live in Southern Living Lane in Conway, South Carolina, and that's really sweet, darling. Let me know how that goes for you. I'll be here. And just understand, I raised 5 kids, and I'm gonna enjoy a different experience, and it's just having all of it. If I can have that in my life, I can live long enough to have just a taste of all of those different types of things. I think that would be way worthwhile.
Beautifully well said. It's everything I was thinking. Thank you so much for promoting that video. I really appreciate it very much. Thank you.
I do it all the time.
Thank you so much.
It's wonderful.
Yeah.
Thank you
I got
for
more
making
coming.
it.
Yeah, I got more coming.
It's so exciting to me too.
It's on just WeAreChange on YouTube. I have another one. Just go to the inspirational and funny little playlist. I made one about a friend who passed away who really helped me out, a stranger that just came out of nowhere. So I really appreciate it, and you really helped me a lot, and you really made that video go everywhere. And
you helped me a lot too, though. I mean, that video inspired me a lot. I've shared it with a lot of people. I've shared it a couple times on Twitter and Facebook.
Yeah.
You know, like every once in a while it'll come into my brain. I'll go, oh, I have to put this out again because it's down there 1,000 tweets ago, and I need to make sure people see it. And it's really beautiful. It connects to people in a way, you know. And when they're feeling in that place that you said you made it from, that's the place. It pulls other people out of that, and it's did that for me. It's done that for some of my friends and family. So I just want to say thank you very much, and I'm excited to see some more of it.
It changed my life, and I don't want to keep talking. I know we got to keep going.
Awesome.
But thank you so much. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it.
What is your Twitter handle?
Luke WeAreChange.
Luke WeAreChange. Okay, we'll follow each other.
Thank you so much. Really appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Recently, I've been feeling really depressed and alone lately. Going into the New York City subway system definitely doesn't help that feeling. Recently, I've been talking to a friend about my travels through Europe last year, and she asked me who's the best person I stayed with, since I stayed with random people on their couches everywhere I went. And I said, without a doubt, Joelle. This is Rudkowski here in the smallest elevator ever.